What's up? Welcome to the NeeKKo Show. It's your girl NeeKKo and I'm your host. And today I am sitting with Compton's next city council person for District 2. And some of you may know him as Hub City Dre, but I'm gonna keep it formal, and I'm gonna introduce him as Mr. Andre Spicer.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, you got it right.
Okay, cool. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I appreciate you joining me on my first episode. So let me know, who is Andre Spicer? That's the first question.
Who is Andre Spicer? It's kind of a loaded question for me.
Yeah.
I am an entrepreneur, a activist, and a community liaison in a nutshell.
And I really respect honestly what you're doing out here, because I feel like you're definitely a representation of talking the talk but also walking the walk. Like, the fact that you are running for city council in your hometown, like, that says a lot. And I want to know, what's the emotions that you've been experiencing on this journey? Like, I'm sure the pressure is on. Like, how do you feel about this?
It's a lot of pressure. If it was our city is not as engaged in the political arena. Right. So it's 100,000 people in the city of Compton. The average age is 25. The average voter is 55. So my age group technically isn't active.
Yeah.
So that's why we started Hub Radio. That's why I wanted to get more people involved in the whole political process. So I've been doing a lot of community activism for the last maybe 8 to 10 years, and just getting more involved in the political arena. And so the emotions on being on one side and then transferring to the other it's been a little crazy. But I've been able to, since I've been on both sides, I got a nice little balance, I like to believe. So the emotions have been great in terms of the support has been great, but then you get hate too. Even me getting into this whole political thing, I was talking mess.
Oh, okay.
When things were going wrong, I was letting people know, like, this is not right. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not right. And I said it in my tone.
Yeah.
So, and my tone wasn't always taken well for people that might be the majority voter.
Gotcha.
So, now you gotta transition to, where you can kind of speak to them and get them engaged. But, so some people really don't forgive some of the things that I said before, even though it was right.
I know. They just can't, they can't take it, they can't receive it.
Don't talk like that to me.
I know, and that's why it's like, I respect that, because I'm just such a stubborn person. I like to do things my way. Like, I don't want to have to adapt to what you like. It's like, if you like it, then that's, if you don't like it, that's your problem. But I understand, like, in this arena that you're in, you have to do it a certain way.
Particular way.
For sure. But I got one better question. Because I'm always, I grew up in Compton, I'm familiar with the area, but I just want to know, can you do anything exactly about the damn potholes? Please, somebody. Please.
Man, listen, these potholes have been, the city's infrastructure has been kind of bad for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been a time trying to transition into some paved roads, but it's happening. It's happening. We got a lot of streets to get done. A lot has been done.
Thank you.
We're getting a lot more done. That's one of my top priorities. People really, it's even costing the city a lot.
No, for real.
If you was to bust your tire,
I was just about to say,
crack an axle,
exactly.
It's actually the city's responsibility to take care of it. So we pay a lot of money for trying to put a band-aid over a bigger issue. And so we have to fix it. It's gonna save us money.
Also, what I want to know is, what have you been doing? Can you share a little bit what you've been doing before running for city council person?
So before running for city council, I started the Hub Radio, and again, that was to change the image of Compton. So I do a lot of traveling. When I travel, people say, you don't look like, walk like, talk like, move like, you can Compton. Whatever that's supposed to be. And it's all based off of what media put out there. So because we didn't have our own platform and have our own voice to kind of tell our own stories. Bam, start the Hub Radio. Now we get people involved to kind of get involved in, just that whole aspect of it. So I did a lot with the Hub Radio, and then from there it was more of a transition to giving back to the community. So it was like, we need to do some mentorship programs for the youth and teaching them how to do their own webcasts and podcasts. Or we're gonna do some backpack giveaways, or we'll do some food giveaways.
There's a toy drive too.
Toy drive.
What about, is the open mic? Is that a part of what?
No, that wasn't what we did, but we did the block party. So
block party.
Yeah, every quarter we did the block party. We invite the whole city out, all the vendors, food vendors, entertainers. Everybody comes and hangs out for 4 times a year at this one location. And it's dope because you get the Bloods, you get the Crips, you get the Latinos, and everybody just really in one place having a good time. And there's always a family, family friendly, and it was really dope. So obviously COVID, so that.
I know.
But yeah, so we have been doing things like that in the community for some years now.
Let's talk about your plans.
Okay.
I got to look over that. So I definitely want us to get into it. You have public safety. You also have housing, the economic, and the culture. So can you first tell us about your plans for the public safety and Compton District 2?
Public safety is an issue for us, and some things that we have to attack first. Obviously, there's a lot of public safety issues. We can say potholes is a public safety issue. We can say the tree trimming is a public safety issue.
Yeah.
Lighting is a public safety issue. But it's also our relationship with the sheriff department and how we're treated in that relationship. So I'd like to have a community partnership with them so we can come to the table and our voices can be heard. We can talk about policy. We can talk about the do's, the don'ts, and how you patrol in my neighborhood. We can have a say-so on that.
Yeah.
And another thing is I want to address social media, honestly, as far as public safety.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that happens in the hood and gaming world, a lot of it stems from social media.
Right.
Cats game banging on social media. People are like totally disrespecting their enemy.
Yeah. Just wild.
Instagram and just doing the most insane stuff. I see people kicking over candlelight visuals.
Yes, disrespectful, it's ignorant.
And if you do that to my relative, it's gonna be hard to bounce back.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you have this continual cycle going on. But if the president causes people to go to the Capitol, we shut them down. And in other communities, you say something anti-gay, we shutting you down. You say something anti-vaccine, we shutting you down. But if you're doing something in your own community where it's constantly perpetuating violence, that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's an issue for me.
Right.
So like we gotta hold the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters accountable as well for our own public safety. You know what I'm saying? We have to censor ourselves in a sense.
Yeah.
So those are some things that I want to do in terms of public safety.
And how do you feel about defunding the police? What do you feel about that?
I definitely feel like our police have become more of a military agency.
Yeah.
I'm all for defunding the police, but I'm also for having relationships too, because we can't get rid of the police. That's just the truth. We're not in that position. But we don't. They don't need
guns and all of that like that. Yeah.
Because I mean, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna want to use it. We got a rocket launcher. Man, I couldn't wait to use this thing. You know what I'm saying? You just
like the city.
People protest.
Boom. Yeah. Like no. That's our first resort, people.
In a sense, yes, we need to defund the police, and then we also again have to have those conversations and the relationships to say what is okay in our neighborhood.
Right, and I think that is a good idea to just focus the not the attention, but just the option of creating a relationship, like creating that bridge between and finding that as a resolution versus still kind of like divided and keeping the tension between, just all it takes is just a little bit of communication, understanding, and just being familiar with each other versus, treating, those are the residents, that's the police, but it's like there's more to that person who's under that badge or behind that badge. There's more to that person who lives in Compton, especially, what they promote on social media is what Compton is supposed to be like, to the mass majority, but.
And we should all know that one group of something isn't everybody.
Yeah.
So you all cops are bad. It's not true.
That's not true.
All Negroes aren't
ghetto or gang bangers, yeah.
And all every white person isn't racist.
Exactly.
It's just not the truth. So we have to look at things objectively.
Right. So I want to also talk about economic development next. What are your plans for that?
Okay, so our economic development here in the city of Compton doesn't even exist, right? So I go down Long Beach Boulevard, I go down Compton Boulevard, Rosecrans. There's a lot of vacant buildings, there's abandoned buildings, there's just buildings that are completely falling apart.
Yeah.
And people it attracts a certain energy.
Right.
It attracts a certain vibe. And just even in the last couple of weeks, I can say in the last 10 days, we had 3 fires in my district.
Oh, wow.
Just from the energy that it keeps and the people that maintain here. And it's something that we have to do something about. So I'm looking at the people that actually own the land, the people that own the buildings. We need to hold them accountable for maintaining their building. Recently, me and my wife got a natural hair salon around the corner.
Woo!
Naturally me.
Okay, so I need to naturally go. All right.
So the place had been around 15 years.
Okay.
And the owner, he was trying his best to run us off. We got to pay first and last, plus deposit. He don't want to fix nothing. He don't want to make no deals. And he gets to the point where he's just like, you know what? And mind you, he owns this whole block. And he owns several other locations. He's not hurting for money. He was like, he said, it's really better for me as a tax write-off than it is for me to rent it out to you. And so I was hella offended, right? I'm like, dang, like I gotta drive by this place every day. You know what I'm saying? And I know people out in front of this building just doing other things. That's attracting another
kind of audience,
whole other energy, a whole other vibe here.
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't concerned about that. He was more like
the money.
The money issue.
Period.
And I just write off on my taxes. I don't want to rent out to you. And so we finally got the term, but point is that there's a lot of people that own land in the area that have that same exact mentality. They don't see it. It doesn't bother them. Bottom line is it's better as a tax write-off. We have to hold those people accountable. We got to put the pressure on them. There's no reason why Long Beach Boulevard couldn't look like Bellflower Boulevard.
Exactly.
Or Compton couldn't look like downtown Long Beach. Like
exactly.
We should have economic development. We got small businesses here all day long. There's so many small businesses that want to come to Compton or that come out of Compton and go somewhere else because they can't start here.
I was just about to say, you got to go through the issues that you just spoke about. I think that speaks volumes. Like, it deters you from being able to keep it in your city. Like, like that's something to also think about, when a lot of people probably speak on how someone could come from somewhere and they make it out and then they never come back. But it's just like the struggle you have to go through to try and make something work in your hometown sometimes just, it's difficult, and that's just really unfortunate. So it's just like knowing that we'll have somebody like you to, run for this position and really care about things like that, like, to change something or hold people accountable for things like that, like that's definitely something we need,
Right. Sure. Because, a lot of times people run in the city of Compton, they don't really have a connection with the city. They didn't, they didn't grow up here, or they're not as active outside of their own circle. So they see things in a particular way. It's like, there's so much more going on out here that we can address. And if you actually were out here, you would realize that.
Agreed. And speaking of small businesses, are there any that you would like to share, show some love to, or speak on as well?
Just all of the small businesses in general, or
just a few if you want to name. So I know because it's a lot. It's a lot of y'all here doing y'all thing with small businesses. But maybe just some Compton.
Hey Batter is one. Pepper Up Lemonade.
Yes.
We have Lux Beauty Bar. We have Billionaire Burger Boys, Billionaire Pizza.
What a pickle.
They from Compton, but they got a spot in Long Beach. They got trucks too. They got trucks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And they're my peoples too. It's so many small businesses, man, that's coming out of here, and I think it's dope. That they are birthed out of Compton. We got Trap Kitchen.
Yes, Trap Kitchen.
You got Blue Kitchen.
Blue Kitchen, yes.
Oh man,
Mr. Fries Man.
We can go down.
We can keep going.
For real.
I love it.
Just keep going and going and going.
I love it.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are outside the city now because of some of the reasons that we talked about.
Exactly. But you gonna address it. You gonna handle it. It's okay.
And we gonna bring y'all back.
We're gonna bring y'all back where y'all supposed to be. So don't even trip. But we'll move on to, we talked about the public housing. The public safety. We talked about housing, right? Did we talk about housing? Let's get to housing.
Housing. So the thing with housing is we have to, we're looking at different ways to house homeless. So that's one of the big issues in the city. One program that I've come across is a garage conversion program that allows you a grant up to $50,000 to convert your garage into a living place for a single family. And you can charge up to $1,000 a month for rent. That can help you get some relatives maybe off the street. There was another thing that I was thinking of is a shelter. We need a shelter in the city of Compton. So we have a homelessness issue. No, we don't.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We have a huge homelessness situation. And a lot of people don't like them living on the streets, but the thing is, to stop them living on the streets, you have to have somewhere from the go. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have anywhere from the go, so we have them on the streets. And the thing is, we have to figure out where to put a shelter. No one wants a shelter in their backyard because
They don't want that in their personal space.
Yeah, but then we want one. Just don't put it right here.
Right.
So you have to figure out ways to meet the public halfway on something like that. So I was thinking of a investment program for the residents. There's this company called Voxel.
Okay.
Voxel are these small homes. They're 20 by 20 homes. They have 9-foot tall ceilings and they're fully furnished. 50 grand.
Oh, I heard of that. I heard of that. That's innovative. I like that.
So I said, well, let's get a whole plot of land and let's all in this room, let's go buy one.
Yes.
We all buy one. Now we organize a company, a nonprofit to bring in funds to house these different people. So let's say it was going to house women that were recently released from jail. So in our living dwellings, we got 10 of them. In our dwellings, we say, hey, you gotta do this 12-month program if you want to stay here.
Yeah.
This 12-month program consists of NA classes, AA classes, self-defense, yoga, just job training, things that you need.
Yeah.
And over the next 12 months, we get them prepared to go into the society. So in 2 years, your box will pay off.
Yeah.
If you get, about $2,000 a month, you can get your box will pay off in 2 years.
That's true.
So now we're just turning over people in your box, and now it's increasing your value, it's making you money, all while cleaning up the streets of Compton and helping people. So it's innovative ideas like that I feel like we need to implement.
And so what about the culture? What's your plans for the culture, keeping that alive in Compton?
Culture is important because a lot of times we don't remember who we are or we're not constantly reminded where we come from. And Compton has rich culture first.
Yeah.
So we need to paint our culture that we do have. We can talk about the equestrian society that we have. We can talk about the history that we have with we had a lot of firsts in here. We had the first black mayor this side of Mississippi in Douglas Dollarhawk. We had the first black police chief here.
Okay.
We had just a lot of firsts here that we can acknowledge and highlight.
Okay.
But in addition to that, we're rich in black and brown. So we got African and Latino culture here. And I would love to see murals painted that reflects us. So I was saying, one day let's have a mural of Shaka Zulu and Montezuma, together. Two warriors from two different cultures. It kind of like shows the unity together.
Exactly.
Things like that will constantly just remind us, we are on the same page. We are together. We are one community, and we have a lot of similarities that should be translated in art and culture.
Yeah.
I love to see historical facts just painted on the wall, just so when you drive by, you remember, hey, whatever that historical fact is.
Like something every day.
Yeah, it's just something like that, man. And we just constantly give our people, and it just makes you feel better about yourself when you know more about yourself.
Yeah, like you feel more at home.
You do.
Like
and it's a whole bunch of artists here. I'm like, we got so many artists here in the city. We can just tap in like all the artists.
Easy. Let's make it a whole event. We was about to tag the whole city up.
For real, in a nice way.
In a good way.
In a cultural way.
In a cultural way, in an educated way, okay?
Right.
Speaking of education.
Yeah.
So I have a nonprofit called Education is Key.
That's right.
I got my pinky. Let me get my pinky in the shop for y'all. Bam! Bam! You gonna hold that? Okay. You a little feel for it,
This is nice and got some weight to it.
It's sturdy. It ain't gonna break on you. It's gonna last. It's built to last.
This is one of the paddles that they used to
but we ain't expecting nobody know. This is like the mascot right here for the movement, right?
That's
so
right.
when people see the pink key, they already know education is key. Okay, we're doing because we fundraise money for scholarships for inner city students of Los Angeles. So I started that, and so I definitely want to just talk about is education key to you, and if so, why? Share your thoughts.
Man, education is definitely key. You have to know where you're going. You gotta know where you've been. You gotta know, and you gotta know how to get there. You gotta know how to navigate. And to me, it's not always education on paper. I feel like Malcolm X is one of the smartest people out there, and he didn't have a college degree, but he was very educated. He educated himself. So I know some people are kind of like I don't want to go to school, but that doesn't mean you have to educate yourself. There's all types of different ways to educate yourself, man. And any kind of way you can bring change and progress to your community, that's education in itself.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely education is key.
Yes.
You guys, I stand with that. Education is key.
Okay.
You heard it. Hub City Dre.
Okay, Hub City Dre approved. Put the stamp on it. Thank you. I love it. Okay. But I really love the fact that you mentioned that you don't have to go to school in order to necessarily get educated or even be successful.
Right.
And that's definitely another message behind this campaign. Like I do an annual campaign with it too, to just let people know, like, yes, we give out scholarships. We got students that want to, you know, go to a college institute, and that's great. And it's not even just university, it could be vocation school, training school, you know, whatever institute you need to go to grow your skills and your knowledge, but you need financial assistance on it, we got you, okay?
That's right.
You know, but at the same time, we just want to put a message out there to let you know, like, just be educated in general. It's not just for people in school, it's for young and old. Be educated, self-educated, as you mentioned. You got libraries, you got the internet, you know, you got information right at the tip of your fingers. Right at the tip of your fingers, you know, so I really like that you did mention that, you know, because I just want y'all to know, this is big, okay? This is a big message. So, one other question I really want to ask you is what is a generational curse or generational curses that you've either broken already or are working to break in your family?
One generational curse that I've already broken is being a business owner. So no one in my family has ever owned businesses. We've always worked for people, and I wanted to be one of those changes because I want my children to be able to do the same thing. My mom didn't teach me ownership, and it's because maybe I wasn't taught to her.
Right.
And so it was a transition for me. One thing that I'm working on changing in my family is communication. Man, communication is so real, and the lack of communication is even more real. So that's one curse that I'm trying hard to change. I'm trying to have all these uncomfortable conversations. I'm trying to open our minds up to talk about things that we've been ignoring for forever in order to make the changes that we need to make. So communication is the thing that I want to change.
I love that. I agree. And I don't think a lot of people think about the significance of communication and how much of a role that can play and even making things a lot more easier and less, you know, less drama or confusion. So that's a big key. That's the big key.
Yeah. I got the keys.
You got the keys. Okay, so, you know, I know you got some business locations, you know, because you big on ownership. You know, you breaking that curse. You are, like you said, an entrepreneur and a businessman. So I do want you to take me to, you know, your spots in Compton that you own, that you run a business at. Can we do that?
We doing that.
Okay. Now, just before we go, because I did forget to do this, I want to do like a little game. It's real easy though. It's real easy. So on this one, I just wanted to be like a scenario type of situation. So you've just been elected as Compton's city council person for District 2, and I just want you to just say something to your people. You know, like the early thank you. We're gonna put an affirmation out there. Basically, you gotta make this this your practice speech. What you tell the people?
Yo, Compton, you guys have made a choice. Seen the work. You jumped behind the work. Now it's time to put in some overtime. I'm now your councilman, and I'm ready to get to work. Let's do this.
Let's go, District 2.
Yeah.